G'day everyone, it's Oliver's voice here, and today we're going to be looking at the new Mario Kart footage that was revealed in the trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2 that Nintendo just officially revealed. In this trailer they showed some gameplay for the next Mario Kart entry, whether that's Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 10, or a new name entirely which we don't know of yet, but we did get a brief glimpse of the game coming to Switch 2, so I thought we'd analyse the trailer to see what Easter eggs and secrets we can find and try to get as much info as possible on the new game. So let's get into it. So if we go to the very start of the trailer, I think a lot of people have already pointed this out. As you can see, there are 24 lines at the start line instead of the usual 12. So this game has the potential to have 24 players per race, as you can see, which is really exciting. You know, it's like what they did with Smash 4 when you could have 8-player Smash instead of the regular 4, so it seems to be here as well. They're doubling the amount of players, and I assume this would be for online as well, which is very exciting. This will be a very chaotic game in that case. And if we look at all the characters, we can see Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Yoshi, or Yoshi, however you want to say that. Who's that? Peach, Rosalina, Daisy, Toad, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Koopa Troopa, it looks like. And right at the back we've got Pauline, so she makes a return. She was introduced in Mario Kart Tour, and then she made her return in the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8, but this is her first sort of mainline Mario Kart game where she's there from the beginning. And because she's become a staple in a lot of spin-off Mario games, such as like Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers, Mario Golf. So it's good to see her here as a mainstay, and we'll get a better look at the characters later on in the trailer. But I just want to have a look at some of the branding on the side of the track. We've got Fireflower gas station here, and this whole track, this whole theme, seems to be themed around like Route 66, like a Midwest America theme, which is really cool. And the name of the track, as we can see here, is called Mario Bros. Circuit. Now this is interesting because Mario Bros. Circuit, it sounds like a beginner course to me. You know, you've got Mario Kart Stadium, Luigi Circuit, Toad Circuit as well. A lot of tracks, I don't know, with these sorts of names, usually open the game, if that makes any sense. Like these are usually the starter courses, your generic sort of Mario themed course. Now this track doesn't look like a generic Mario themed course, but the name itself makes me think that this is the first track in the Mushroom Cup. And if that's the case, if this is the very first track in the game, this is so exciting because just the amount of detail and theme here for the opening track, if it is just crazy. I'm just going to go through the trailer a little more. Because usually your opening tracks in a Mario Kart game, they're like sort of basic grass levels. Mario Kart Stadium was pretty interesting, but again, it's just like a regular stadium, very simple course layout. Like if you look at Luigi Circuit from Mario 64, Toad Circuit from Mario Kart 7, these tracks have nothing to write home about, essentially. Whereas here, it looks like they've gone all out in what is presumably the opening track of the game, because it is the first track being shown off in the trailer. Now, if we look again at the start line, above the name of the track, Mario Bros. Circuit, we have the Mario Kart logo, which has changed again, presumably. We had the same logo from Super Mario Kart up until Mario Kart Double Dash, and then they modernized it with Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart up to Mario Kart 8. I think Tour used that same logo as well. This one's slightly different. Obviously, it's on a curve. I don't think the logo will be on a curve as such, but it's red. The font is slightly different, so fingers crossed, maybe we have a new logo finally, which is exciting for me at least. And some more branding on the side. We've got Luigi Tires, Mario Motors on the right. Mario Motors was one from Mario Kart 8. I don't think Luigi Tires was, so that might be a new sort of branding. But there are some returning brands and features from Mario Kart 8 here. One major thing for Mario Kart 8 that's back is the art style. This is a very similar art style to Mario Kart 8, but this looks like it's running on the Switch 2. So there is a lot more detail. It's a lot sharper, as you can see, and later in the trailer, the render distance is so much further than it was before. I'm just going to go and show you how far the render distance can go, which is something we've never really seen. Yeah, so if we take a look at the very last shot of the trailer, just look how far these backgrounds go. Mario Kart 8 did have some really detailed backgrounds, but they never quite went off this far into the distance. And even if you look at the track, like it's just straight all the way to the end. And I haven't really seen a Mario Kart track like that just shows all this track and all this detail. You can even see cars down there and boost pads. Before, if we had something that far away, I reckon it would have been hidden around a corner or may not have loaded in as of yet when the players reach this point. So yeah, this is very impressive. I think this is a first look at how powerful the Switch 2 is going to be. And if we go back to the start line again, this Route 66 sort of almost Radiator Springs theme from Cars is prominent here. You've got shipping containers on the right, which have just sort of generic branding here. We've got it looks like engine with a picture of a shell there, so like Shell engine. That's maybe a new brand. Again, Fireflower gas station. There are a few gas stations in this trailer, which may point to a new mechanic in the game we can talk about later. But notice this sort of path to the side here, where it looks like an alternate path where the players can go. I do have an idea about what this could be later on in the trailer, but we'll keep moving forward for now. And I'll take a look up ahead. We can see the races as the camera goes through. The current players, they turn right onto this dirt track here, but if you look at the asphalt keeps going, and what's sort of the regular road, if you want to call it that, takes a left, and there are these barriers here which look like they're on wheels. So we may see a return of that functionality from the booster course pass, where each lap the track would change, the track layout. Each lap would be a different lap, essentially. You go a different direction each time. So perhaps during the race, these barriers will move to the side. But I don't know if that's the case, because there are also cones here. They don't look that maneuverable. I'm not sure where exactly they could go. They just looks like they're going to bump into this Luigi Tires barrier here. So it is a possibility, but my bet is that there are going to be multiple versions of each track. So for instance, there'll be a Mario Bros. Circuit 1, which may be this one, and then a Mario Bros. Circuit 2, 3, 4. I don't know how many there could be, but similar to the original SNES Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, how you had different versions of Bowser's Castle and Mario Circuit, and you'd sort of alternate between them. Or I guess similar to other kart races, or just racing games in general, where you get one map and then there are a bunch of tracks set within that one map. So an example I could think of is the new Hot Wheels Unleashed series, Hot Wheels Unleashed 1 and 2, where you'd have about 4 or 5 maps per game, but then you'd have maybe 5 different track layouts within each map, giving you a variety of different tracks to choose from within the same sort of theme or the same location. So we may get a few different tracks set in the Mario Bros. Circuit location, which is very exciting. This sort of Route 66 themed track. If you take a look on the left, we've got a Mario Kart TV van. So Mario Kart TV returns. They're also on the right here, filming the course, and presumably the Mario Kart TV functionality from Wii U and Switch will be back, where you can record your races and then go back through and watch the replays and get different angles, and hopefully all that's returned. I just hope you can save more than 6 replays, because that was such a small limit on the original Wii U version. And I think the Switch version may have increased it slightly, but even then, I ran out of replays really quickly. So I hope if replays return, which I'm sure they will, I hope they increase the number you can save. And I wonder if Mario Kart TV will have more functionality in this game, because as you can see here, they've each got cameras which appear to be following the races. If we go by, yeah, you can see that camera turning slightly. Oh, it's very hard to see. But if that camera is following the races, it would be cool if you can sort of access that footage. Actually, looking at it now, it looks pretty static. But you know, it would be cool if you could view the footage from these little toads here later when watching the replay. Maybe get different angles of the track. Or even at the end of, like, say, a cup, when you finish a cup, you usually get a montage of your races where you won. It would be cool if in that montage you can see footage from these angles. I think that would just be a cool little idea. And then you can see some Mario pipes here going into this little rock formation up here. We may get a better look at that later. But yeah, various Mario themed things here. But for a track called Mario Bros. Circuit, there's not a ton of like obvious Mario stuff. Like, this is more its own unique theme. Here we get a better look at that rock structure here, and it looks like it's advertising maybe like a gas station, or you know, like a group of shops in the middle of this desert here. This whole location looks like a kind of truck stop where you'd stop, refuel, get some food, you know. And here we get a good look at the Mario's Kart here. Mario Kart. And this appears to be the brand new standard kart, which looks lovely. It's very sort of cartoony compared to the Mario Kart 8 one, but I love it. It's like a little buggy. It looks more go-karty than I think ever before. And I assume those are new standard wheels. And there's a lot more, I would say detail, but definitely refined edges we can see here compared to Mario Kart 8, which is now, what, 11 years old nearly at the time of this trailer's release. I think middle of this year will be officially 11 years old. So yeah, this game will be 11 years newer, so it's good to see that sort of the jagged edges are smooth. Even look at these like springs. There are barely any polygons visible, which shows that the Switch 2 looks like it can have a slightly higher fidelity than Nintendo's predecessors. And if you look way back there, I'm just noticing this now, you can see a bit of the track. It looks like curving around. I think you'd come from this way and then go up and then around. Oh, and then maybe down. I thought maybe you could glide this way, but it looks like actually it does a full loop and then back down onto the ground, and perhaps it joins up with the original start line we saw before. And I reckon that asphalt path we saw earlier that keeps going straight and then to the left, I reckon that's going to hook around and join up with this section here, which appears to be levitating in the sky, or almost. It's a really weird jagged rock formation there, which is almost floating. And it looks like anti-grav will be returning, potentially. That is a pretty steep incline and a sharp bend. I reckon that'll be an ideal location to have anti-grav and quite a fun place to drift around. And there could be those little spinners that you would see in the anti-gravity section. There's a little dot there, it's really hard to see, but that could be a spinner. The things that you'd run into and they'd spin you around and give you a little boost. I'm going to say they could place some of those around there. They may not just load in from this far. We can also see some lights over here, and they're dotted all around the course. But it makes me wonder, will there be lights? Will there be a nighttime version of this track, essentially? Like, is there a version that takes place at dark, and then you'll have these big floodlights on? That'll be a cool vibe if that's the case. Or maybe is there a day and night cycle during a race? Like we've seen tracks like Sunset Wilds from GBA, which came back for the Booster Course Pass, take place during the sunset. We could have a track that starts during the day and then you experience the sunset and then goes into night. I am basing this just on the fact that there are lights there. They may just be there for decoration, but that'll be a really cool feature. I reckon Nintendo are definitely looking for ways to make this Mario Kart better and different and bigger and more detailed in any way they can, because Mario Kart 8 was already exceptionally detailed. I reckon that will be a great way for them to sort of make this its very own unique Mario Kart, because we don't see a gimmick as of yet. We can speculate on what this game's gimmick will be if it has one. It looks like anti-grav will be returning for Mario Kart 8, so it looks like that gimmick will be returning. I assume underwater and gliding will return because, you know, why wouldn't you bring those back? They were so much fun. And again, this game will definitely have retro tracks, so you'll need anti-grav, underwater, and flying segments if you want to bring back tracks from Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8. And there are some characters on the side here cheering along. We've got some Hammer Bros, we've got some different coloured Toads, Shy Guys, different coloured Yoshis, which is good to see. And we've got a little flag here. I'm trying to read it. I can't see what that says. It says L and M, I think, so Luigi and Mario. So this is a shared track between the two Italian brothers. And I forgot to look at the other sort of karts here. We've got Bowser's on what looks like the new version of the ATV with the monster truck wheels. That's a classic combination that we saw in Mario Kart 8. Luigi's on this little Jeep thing. Looks like those are maybe a new version of the slick tires that we saw in Mario Kart 8. Peach here is on a motorbike. Now what's interesting about Peach, if we get a good angle on her, she's got a dress now. She's no longer wearing her sort of racing outfit that we saw ever since Mario Kart Wii. She's never worn a dress on a bike. All the princess characters would wear racing outfits instead of dresses. But here she's on a bike with a dress. So either the racing outfit's gone, or the more likely option, which is what I'm hoping for, is that there are different costumes in the game. It's something we saw in Mario Kart Tour. So I really hope that comes over to the mainline games, to Mario Kart 9 or 10 or whatever this version's going to be called. Because that was such a great feature that Mario Kart definitely needs. We saw all kinds of versions of Mario, like Dr. Mario, Tennis Mario, and then again, lots of costumes for Peach and everyone. So here, she might just be wearing a dress costume instead of her racing outfit, which is cool. And that gives me hope for a Captain Toad skin. I'd love to race as Captain Toad. And here we can see some more carts. Here's Rosalina's cart. It looks like a snow buggy. It's got like caterpillar tracks on the back and then 2 skis on the front. But it's sort of done up. It looks very Mario Galaxy-esque. So I think this might be a cart specialized to her. Toad's here in another like buggy, like a sand buggy type thing. Daisy's in this cool rocket car. Looks like those are standard wheels as well. We saw Bowser's ATV. What's Yoshi riding here? Yoshi's on like a scooter, is he? That looks fun. But yeah, not a single kart that we've seen before, so it's good. All new karts. Here's Donkey Kong in like a sports car. And there's Wario. That looks like the Tri-Speeder from Mario Kart 8. It looks like it may have 3 wheels, but it's hard to see from here. It's definitely not the same bike, but it looks like something similar. And then there's Pauline back there on a bike. So yeah, a bunch of different karts, not much to say about them. And then if we move along on the trailer, we get more footage of the actual Switch itself. But at the top left here, you can see the word diner. So that looks like an ad either for the group of shops and the restaurants and things over here, or the gas station over here at least, or it may be reference to a diner we see later on, which we'll go to right this very minute. Here we go. Here we get a better shot of that same sign. It says Mario Bros. Circuit. Here we get a little map of the track. Well, not a map, but a logo representing it. And it looks like, see that little twisty section? It appears that's referenced in this twisty section here. So it looks like I was right about how it goes up and then comes back down. There's no gliding section. So it goes up, does a little twist, and then lands again. But notice the different colors here. So you can see it's filled in sort of white there, and then it's transparent. It's red up here. So that makes me believe this red section is in anti-gravity, which would be really, really cool if it is. So it looks like confirmation to me. And also we get signs that say parts and fuel. Now I did say earlier I have speculation on what the new mechanic or gimmick for this game is, if there is a new gimmick. But based on what we see later in the trailer, I'll come back to some of this. We do see a gas station on the right here, and earlier we did see that other slip lane to the left. And there's what appears to be an item box here, but it's like flaming, and I don't know if that's a question mark. Looks like something else. So I'm wondering if there's like some sort of fuel mechanic in this game where I don't know how that would work, but do you need to each lap collect enough fuel to keep going? I don't know what would happen if you ran out of fuel. Like, I don't expect the Mario Kart gang to get out of their cars and just start running, but it may be something similar to the coins. So, you wanted to pick up as many coins as you could handle along the way to make sure you're going as fast as possible. Maybe you have to look out for something else, such as fuel. Maybe over the course of a lap you lose fuel, and then maybe when you get to the bottom you have to maybe do some function, maybe press a button to keep going. So during each lap you have to look out for wherever there's fuel. Maybe get it from item boxes. Maybe this is fuel here. This looks to me like an item box, but who knows? Maybe there's just this fuel you got to look out for. But I reckon that is probably more likely to just have something to do with the theme of the track, because again, this is like a American Midwestern town. You do see a lot of gas stations, so I reckon all this fuel sort of imagery is just to do with the theme of the level. I don't actually think that that's a mechanic in the game, but again, it's fun to speculate. It could be, so I'll just put that out there in case that does come true. But yeah, we do see this little glowing yellow orb. It could be an item box. There's only one there though, which is interesting. It's not even that hard to grab. So to me, this may be something more exciting than an item box. Or, this is just a new design for the item box. If it is, I like how it sort of shifts from a square to almost like a hexagonal shape. It looks like there's 2 boxes sort of moving in and out of each other, which is a cool little animation there. And that's underneath what appears to be Yoshi's Diner. It doesn't say diner, but I assume It looks like a diner with the burger sort of imagery. We've got a big bun there with layered neon lights. Looks like lettuce and cheese, and again more bread-themed roofs here. And we've got a sign that says something. It's probably advertising a burger. More signs here. It says Yoshi's and Princess Orange, which makes a return from Mario Kart 8, another brand. And we see a road train, or what we call them in Australia, but just a truck with 2 trailers going along. And this looks like the kind of place we'd see many trucks going by and stopping for food and whatnot. But interestingly, again, like earlier, we see the track keep going straight and then take a left, but just notice this little dirt path going straight through. So again, maybe you can, in a different version of the track, you have to take a hard right. Maybe they put up barriers like we saw earlier, those 2 barriers with the wheels on them. Maybe those will be placed there in a different version of the track and you have to take a hard right and go that way. There is a fence though blocking the path there, but I imagine that might be gone if that's the case. And it appears to be a fence here too, on each side to block it. Or the other option is you go around, you go left. I don't even know where that goes. You can't even see any track over here. So I don't know if that goes underground, or that'll be a little out of theme if it goes underground, but it'll be cool. Or actually maybe it goes to the right. You can see it, snake right, left, and then either it goes left or right there. I can't really tell. But then I have no idea where it goes after that. We can see a little sign over here, very far away, and it's been held up by 2 poles over a dirt road. And the fact that there's a sign way out there advertising something that's going over what appears to be a track, I reckon this is another part of the track you can access here. Actually, yeah, it does join up. Go back a bit. Yeah, it joins up with this dirt road here. So either this is all just one really big track that all joins up. Maybe these fences move when you get around to them. Or, again, like we said earlier, there are multiple versions. So it's very exciting if there are multiple versions. That'll be so cool. And there are a lot of cacti as well, just dotted around. Obviously, this is the middle of a desert. But interestingly, there's no fence barriers here. So you can just, apparently, just drive off the track into a cactus if you want, or just go explore, which is really cool if that's the case. Mario Kart 8 was pretty limited on where you could go outside the track. There's a ton of detail, but you can really go out and explore it. Other than sort of tracks like Toad Harbor, which just had very wide lanes, and Toad Harbor had that market you could sort of drive around. But other than that, there wasn't really a ton you could do. But this reminds me of like back in the N64 days where you'd, as a kid, you'd go on Calamari Desert and you'd drive through the train tunnel to see where it went, or you'd explore Royal Raceway to the castle, which is a cool little Easter egg. So there may be the ability to just drive wherever you want in the background, which is so cool. You can go explore. Hopefully there's some little Easter eggs, maybe to other Mario games. But this does remind me a little of Mario Kart Tour, with the whole track being based on almost a real-life location. This isn't officially a real-life location. It's all been themed towards Mario, but it does remind me of when we went to New York and LA and whatnot. This looks like Nevada or something like that from in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not from the US, so sorry about that. But I just noticed here also there's a little jump you can go off, and it looks like you land on something there, like a rock, or is that another jump? If that's another jump facing this way, maybe we can go both ways. Again, it's a very wide track. We've seen wide tracks before, like Luigi Circuit from the GameCube. That track was really wide to accommodate players going in both directions. Here, the track is very wide, so maybe that's the case here as well, similar to Luigi Circuit from the GameCube. Can you have players going both ways? Maybe you go up there and you turn around and come back. And then in that case, that explains why there's a jump there. Potentially, if that's a jump facing this way, you can sort of go both ways. You can maybe even hit players in the air going across the jumps. Or that's just a rock and you land on it. But then you've got like sand around you, so I don't know. Maybe you go off this wooden jump, land on that rock, and do a trick back onto the track. Because if you land on this sand, it just looks like it's going to slow you down. So yeah, not sure exactly what that is. It's either a rock or a jump, but some sort of little shortcut there. There might be another item box there, similar to how there is one here, to reward you for going out of your way. Or this is a shortcut to get onto this dirt track. if that's the case. And the truck here looks like you might be able to jump on it like you could in Toad's Turnpike from Mario Kart 8, the 64 track that got remade in Mario Kart 8. We don't see any ramp cars here, which are used in Toad's Turnpike to jump onto trucks. So maybe that's not the case, but and there's also no jump on the back like there were on the trucks in Toad's Turnpike. You could jump on the trucks and then trick off again. There's no jumps here, but it's very flat and long, so it makes me think that you may be able to do a trick onto a truck, potentially, maybe off this little ramp here. What do these little signs say? 1-up fuel, again, there you go, the more fuel iconography here. So again, fuel mechanic, it's possible, but who knows? Might just be the theme of the track. And one last thing, there is another sign here advertising some sort of brand, but I cannot for the life of me make it out. Oh, it looks like Morton. Oh, is that Morton Industries? That's what that is. Yeah, that was a brand from Mario Kart 8 as well. So that makes a return. And I just noticed the background, the mountains take the form of mushrooms, which is really cool. So there's your Mario theming. There's more of that. And look at this, the Yoshi's Diner. It looks like a Yoshi with the 2 eyes and the nose. I can't believe that took me that long to realize that. But that's very cool. A little Yoshi themed building. That's awesome. And if we go back, I did miss some details over here, such as Shine Sprite, which is a big sign there for something called Shine Sprite. Now this is interesting because I don't know if this is a sign in the level itself, or is this like a gameplay thing, because it kind of looks like it's floating there. Like it looks digital almost. So maybe that's just the funny angle and the trick of the lighting. So I don't know if that's just advertising a place or maybe a restaurant. You know, Shines are from Mario Kart Sunshine. That's what the Shine Sprite is referring to. So there might be a Sunshine themed diner in this level or in another track, or Shine Sprites have a mechanic here, potentially. Who knows? And also in this shot, this has been pointed out by a lot of people online, is that Donkey Kong has looks like a redesign, and he now looks like his version from the Mario movie, which came out nearly a year and a half ago. So yeah, it looks like his Seth Rogen Donkey Kong now, instead of your classic Donkey Kong Country look, which he's had pretty much since Mario Kart 64. They have refined it over the years, both in the spin-offs and Donkey Kong Country Returns. But now it looks like he's finally gotten a redesign, which is it's cool to see that some characters are getting changed after all these years. You know, we've had the same look for characters all this time. It's just a little sad to see old DK go if he's not in the game. Again, we did mention that characters could have various different clothing or different costumes. So maybe this is just an alternate costume for DK, where you can choose the movie version. But his whole sort of face is a different shape, and his eyes are a lot bigger. And again, look at his mouth. He's like pursing his lips. I don't think you really saw him do that in the last games. Look at his hot rod too. What a sick car Donkey Kong has. But yeah, it's interesting. They're taking more stuff from the film. So we did get a redesign of Princess Peach in Peach's Showtime. Just on the box art though, she looked like her Mario movie counterpart. Here Peach is her normal self, just like she was in that actual game. But we've never seen sort of Mario movie stuff make its way into the games. We haven't really had many Mario games since the movie. This is pretty much almost the first one, other than Mario Wonder, that came out the same year. So yeah, it looks like they really liked that version of Donkey Kong perhaps. And again, it was a very popular movie, so it makes sense that they'd want to have this synergy between the two mediums. But I would probably prefer Nintendo to keep sort of the movie stuff and the game stuff separate if they could. But it makes sense why they're doing this, you know. There are a lot of kids who probably haven't played a Donkey Kong game. You know, the last Donkey Kong game, Tropical Freeze, that was also nearly 11 years ago now. It was 10 years ago. So yeah, there are a lot of kids who will probably be playing this game who aren't familiar with classic Donkey Kong. They probably have more ties to the new version. So yeah, that makes sense. But you know, maybe a costume as well. And this isn't Donkey Kong Jr., which some people have thought, because you can see his red tie there. So this is your sort of rare version of Donkey Kong Country Donkey Kong, you know, the one we know and love. But, you know, we can't rule out the fact that Donkey Kong Jr. may return. He came back in Mario Kart Tour, which doesn't really make sense because he is technically Donkey Kong. I think timeline-wise, it's confusing. But I wouldn't be surprised if Junior's here as well, because one theory that some people have is they may be doing like a Mario Kart Ultimate, where they've brought back all the characters and maybe even all the tracks into this game, which would be cool. So we could see Donkey Kong Jr. make a return, like he did in Tour. And we've seen a lot of elements from Tour making their way to the games, or especially in the Booster Course Pass. So I wouldn't be surprised, if there are other versions of Donkey Kong. And something else I thought was pretty cool is Mario's animation here. So he goes over this little bump in the road. It doesn't look like a bump in the road. I don't know if the player's activating this on purpose, you know, pressing the right trigger to drift, but just not drifting, you know, you could do that little hop. But look at the amount of stretch there is in the car. Even the wheels sort of stretch up, but especially Mario's face. We did see this a lot in Mario Wonder, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, so it looks like Mario has a similar amount of animation like he did in that game. And even his whole sort of art style, or at least his facial structure, looks closer to that Mario Wonder appearance, which is cool to see. I do really like that look for Mario. I thought that was great, so it'll be great to see that in more games. And hopefully for the next 3D Mario game, that would be pretty coul. But this isn't just relegated to Mario. As you can see, Luigi, again, look how stretchy he is. It's like Mr. Fantastic, it's just going up and down. It does look like actually Mario does initiate a drift there, so I think all the characters here are doing drifts, because that track does not look very bouncy to me, so that looks like a player's input. Look at that chunky boy over there cheering them on. And another thing to mention in this shot is that there are actually more than 12 players. As you can see, there's the Shy Guys, 1, 2, 3, I can see at least 17 or 18 characters here. It's a lot of there's baby Luigi. I think 18 characters here. We may be wrong about that they're having the option of 12s, because it looks like maybe I assume all this footage is from the one race, so maybe the rest of the characters were just hidden behind here. It just happens to be 12 at the start, because as they go around you can see that there's at least 18. So again, maybe 24 is the default. I wonder if there'll be an option for 12 then. Or is it just straight to 24? It's a lot of races. It'll be very, very chaotic. I'm just imagining like Baby Park with 24 races. That'll be so much fun. I really hope the custom items return from Double Dash and Tour, like the Bowser shell on Baby Park. That'll be great. And I'm just noticing now, again, this sort of highway over here. It's really thick-laned highway. Looks like it stretches back behind sort of the edge of the screen. So again, that leads credibility to the idea that there are a ton of different ways to go around. And this sign, now looking at it from this angle, this definitely looks like some sort of digital edition. Again, this whole thing is digital, but like in universe, I guess, in the track, it looks very fake to me. Not in a bad way, but it looks like it's almost telling the player where to go. It's like curving around and floating there. Like a bunch of lights, like a neon lit digital sign. And maybe this is prevalent throughout the tracks. Maybe there's various barriers like this that are sort of disguised as ads. So this one just says Shine Sprite. Maybe that's a sort of a company or an organization in Mario Kart. And maybe there's another one that says Mario Motors that will be blocking the path somewhere else. So that's just an idea of why it says Shine Sprite. I can't really think why it says Shine Sprite specifically. But yeah, that's just an idea. Again, also here are more of those little portable signs. Maybe portable signs, again, we'll see there. And we get a good look at the new boost pads, which are more of a pinky yellow color, which almost matches the item boxes, which is very cool. And also these cars. I forgot to mention these cars. They look very funny. Very like squashed engines, very large bodies, which is very different to the cars we saw in Mario Kart 8. They were very lifelike, human-like almost. These are more, silly, Mario-looking cars, I guess. We don't really know what a Mario car looks like other than the carts they drive in. So this looks very fitting for the Mushroom Kingdom, I guess. And is this in the Mushroom Kingdom? It's got mushrooms. Mario Odyssey, we did leave the Mushroom Kingdom. We saw a whole bunch of the world. But given all the Mario-themed stuff, I assume this is in Mario's hometown. Again, I'm not too familiar with the lore, unfortunately. But I think that just about covers everything. There's probably other little details. There's a blue shell there. Other little details that we didn't quite notice. I was having a look over here. There is this little sort of restaurant. Oh, it's a burger restaurant, just noticed, with those little umbrellas you can sit under. But again, it looks like you can sort of, maybe. I don't know if you can go around there, but you may be able to go in there and explore. That's probably what I'll be doing on the first day I get this game, is just exploring. Oh, look at this big car up there too. I guess so many details, packed with details, pipes everywhere. But that does it for this little analysis. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me. If you want to hear my thoughts on the new Nintendo Switch 2 trailer, I did a discussion with my good friend Matt, which is up on the Peanut Games Media channel. If you want to check that out, we discuss the Switch 2, its reveal, its release date, and all that kind of jazz. But other than that, please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, more analyses, because I'm sure more games will be released soon for the Switch. Definitely in that Switch 2 Direct in 2 months, we'll be doing content based on that. So please subscribe and stay tuned for more content just like this one. And I'll catch you in the next one. So cheers, guys. I'll see you later.